Well, I got my hands on the Grand i10 NIOS recently, and my friend Praveen happened to be in town. Praveen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And he voiced his need for a small car. So I figured that instead of me talking about this car, I'm going to give him the keys and let him take it for a spin and sort of evaluate it from his needs. But before I do that, I'm just going to have a quick word with you, Praveen. What is it that you're looking for in a small car?
Well, I'm looking for a car mainly to drive in the city. School drop-offs, pickups, maybe go out to, pick up some shopping or something like that. Those will be the main things, and perhaps maybe once in a while go on a weekend trip somewhere close by. And because I sometimes drive, it'll be nice to have a car with a little bit of decent performance.
Okay.
And of course, I live in Chennai, so air conditioning is
Key.
key. Absolutely. More than key.
All right.
And boot space, of course, for the weekend trips. If we can get some decent boot space, then that'd be good.
So to sum it up, we're looking at performance.
Yeah.
We're looking at space on board. We're looking at boot space. We're looking at drivability.
Yeah.
Right? And we're also looking at AC.
Yeah.
Performance.
And entertainment.
And entertainment.
Yes.
Okay.
Music.
So this is what you're going to be doing. I'm going to give you the keys.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang out. You take it for a spin, check it, and let me know what you think.
All right.
Have fun.
Thank you.
See you. So Praveen, you've taken the Grand i10 NIOS out for a spin. What's your first take on what you feel about the car?
Well, it seems quite peppy, and weaving in and out of traffic was quite easy because of the size and everything. The AC is quite nice. It cooled the cabin very quickly. Overall, it seems like a very comfortable car to be in.
And you obviously took it out on the highway as well.
Yeah.
What did you think about the performance? It's a 1.2 liter engine, a small engine, so to speak. But what do you have to say about the performance?
The performance is more than sufficient, I must say. We did a bit of a fast pace on the highway, and it did pretty good, I must say. It easily hit 100 without any problems, and it was good enough to cruise in on the highway.
That's what you would want from a small car.
Exactly.
It does deliver about 88 PS of power and about 114 Newton meters of torque. And this one is with the manual. And I know that you like driving manuals.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about the transmission? Was it slick? Was it smooth? Did you find it notchy?
No, it was a very slick transmission, I must say. Moving from one gear to the other it was very smooth. It fell in place quite nicely. So it was a delight to use.
And now you're considering this as a vehicle that you're going to predominantly use in the city.
Yeah.
And a city like Chennai is all about start-stop traffic and driving in that sort of condition. What do you have to say about it? The pickup that you get, the 0 to 60, because that's a lot of people talk about in the city.
Yeah.
Is from a red light, getting quick off the mark.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about that bit of the performance?
It gets off the blocks fairly quickly. And like you said, in the city, in Chennai, my main use case is, school drop-off, pickup, that sort of thing. So in that, school drop-off and pickup, it's mad, with traffic and everything. So I think it fits that use case pretty well, I must say. I mean, it's good getting off, good rapid.
The start line.
Yeah. So it performs pretty well.
Speaking about school drop-off and driving in traffic in Chennai, obviously you're also looking at comfort because you are going to be ferrying your kids to school and back.
Correct.
So what do you have to say about the space on board? How did you find that?
The space is good. I mean, I was surprised by how much space there is in there. I predominantly use the driver's seat, but I did check in the back seat with my driving position, and there was sufficient space. and for the kids to be in, I mean, there's plenty of space for them. So.
And when you have kids on board, the other thing that you need is entertainment.
Yeah.
And this comes with a nice touchscreen system. And it's also got a pretty decent sound quality. I really enjoy the sound quality that the Grand i10 NIOS offers.
Yeah.
What about you? Was it playing your music right?
It did. I mean, I paired it up to Apple CarPlay, which, you know, now the kids are growing up. They have their own preference for music, so they don't let me listen to any of my music when they're in the car. So as long as it, you know, it pairs up to Apple CarPlay, they have all the entertainment they need. So that's a good thing. And it's a lifesaver, Apple CarPlay, to be honest.
And again, from a city perspective, like you said, you spent a lot of time in the driver's seat. What do you think about the steering feel?
The steering feel was good. It feels nicely weighted down. The steering wheel is, you know, it feels chunky without being overly heavy.
Yeah.
So it gives you a good sort of feel.
You know, Hyundai has done a lot of work when it comes to the steering in their cars.
Yeah.
Because earlier on, I think a lot of people used to talk about the fact that these modern steering wheels, they don't give you enough feel. And I think that with the current range of Hyundai cars, whether it's the Verna or even if you go high-end or even below the Grand i10 NIOS, you'll see that the steering input is something that they've really worked hard on to give you that precise feeling that you need.
Yeah.
Even on higher speeds, when you took it out on the highway, you'd have felt it firm up a bit.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
That's again something you need for control.
Correct.
And it is definitely a plus point when it comes to this car.
Yeah, true.
Again, going back to space, I know we've discussed passenger space. What do you have to say about the boot?
Well, surprisingly good for a car this size. It's got a decent sized boot. I mean, for a weekend getaway, it's perfect. I mean, a couple of bags in there, and take the kids out for a beach holiday or whatever. I mean, it's perfect for that as well.
Yeah, so, you can get quite a bit back there actually.
Yeah.
And you know, if your wife is not coming along and it's just you and maybe your older daughter, you can actually drop the seat and get a lot more in there.
Yeah.
So you've got that flexibility and that versatility as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Of course, this is a car that's about being versatile. So while it is a compact car for the city, you are looking at something that you can venture out in. You can enjoy more of a sort of lifestyle sort of feel with it. And I think as an all-rounder, that's what you get with the Grand i10 NIOS.
Yeah.
We've spoken about the engine, we've spoken about design. Actually, we're not spoken about design.
Yeah.
Okay. We've spoken about the engine, we've spoken about the interiors. Now looks matter.
Yeah,
And
of course.
before we get talking about looks, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of car buying decisions in a family are not made by the guy paying for the car.
Correct.
It's made by the kids, it's made by the spouse, and if the spouse is buying a car, then it's made by her husband. Okay, so, but design plays a really big role. I think a lot of people do look at that as one of the top elements when it comes to picking a car. So what do you have to say about the way the car looks? Like, how do you feel the Grand i10 NIOS looks in your garage?
It's a good looking car. I mean, I think a lot of the Hyundai cars these days are coming out with really edgy designs.
Yeah.
And this one as well has got is a good looking car. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no I don't have any negatives or complaints about the design. It looks nicely proportioned and everything. So I think it's a good looking car.
So what Hyundai follows is a fluidic design philosophy, and it is about, as you rightly said, about having really neat surfaces, the right edges at the right places, and then of course a little bit of these motifs and character lines that bring out a slight hint of sportiness, if you will.
Right.
So it's a very young looking car.
Yeah.
And my personal favorite is the lights that light up at the bottom, you know, your DRLs. There's this really cool like arrow shape right up front in the lower bumper.
Yeah,
and that I think adds an additional element to the car.
Yeah.
Speaking about driving and ride comfort, how did you feel? You went on some, you know, you were not really on the highway all the time. You
Correct.
were out on some country roads, some bad roads.
Yeah.
What did you feel about the ride comfort? What did you feel about the ground clearance?
Yeah.
Because these are things that matter when you're buying a car.
Yeah, the ride quality was excellent. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about the ride quality. it took on some of the potholes without a problem, and I took it a little bit off the road as well.
Yeah.
And it can do it. And it's got a decent ground clearance. So I think if you just need to get off a little bit and
I think
explore a little bit, I think you can.
I think Hyundai did their homework on this one because getting the ground clearance right. This is the one big complaint that we get a lot of about any car in India. The first question is obviously mileage. The second is ground clearance. Is it going to bottom out? So I think this one, you took it on bad roads. You went through some potholes. Even a little bit of dirt. And not once did it touch at the bottom.
Not once did it touch on the bottom, and even more importantly, it didn't really feel like you didn't feel any of the hard sort of thumps and stuff inside the car. So the suspension has been tuned well, I think.
Now we've spoken only good things about the car so far. If I had to ask you for a negative, what would you say is the one thing you would change in this car, or did you find anything that was something that sort of tickled you in a funny way?
Not really. Not with regards to anything to do with the drivability or the performance or anything. The only thing that I would want as an addition to the car would be maybe wireless CarPlay. That would have made a lot more, it would have just made the perfect package. Let me just put it that way. But it's not really a complaint because it does have wired CarPlay, so that works. And wireless CarPlay would have been the cherry on the cake.
It would have. Well, you do get wireless charging.
Yeah, that's true. So that's good.
And as far as the features, you toyed around a little bit with what you see on the infotainment system. You've got navigation, you've got all of those things there. It's a pretty slick system. What do you have to say, when it comes to the system itself, the usability of it? What's your input on that?
The usability is good. I mean, most of the time what I find these days is I just plug my phone in and I'm mostly in CarPlay mode for navigation and music and entertainment and everything. But for some of the settings, you do get into the UI of the car itself. But that is pretty slick. I mean, there's no issues. I could get whatever settings that I wanted, and I could find them easily. So the interface is good. There's no question, no doubt about that.
Now, when we started off, you said that your prime requirements are something that's a little peppy because you're going to be driving it yourself every once in a while. You need the space because it is going to ferry kids to and fro to school, and sometimes the family is going to use it to go out, maybe for a dinner in town because parking is always an issue.
Correct.
And so you had space, you had performance, you had the audio system, the sound quality because that's important to you as well. And you had also mentioned boot space because you were talking about weekend getaways. So now that you've driven the car, had a look at it, experienced it, on these 4 points, what's your rating?
I mean, I rated a buy. But then the most important decision has to be made, which will probably be made by my daughters, which is picking the color.
That's true. Well, the good thing is that it does come in a range of colors. My favorite is this dark greenish one that they have. It's available in red, and I know your girls might go in for the red one.
Let's see. I mean, I have to show them all the colors and see what they pick.
And while this is the Asta 1.2 Kappa petrol version, Hyundai does offer a CNG version. Is that something that you would consider, or is that not really something you're too bothered about?
Well, I haven't really looked at the CNG versions of any of the cars. I mean, not at this point. I might either do a petrol or, I mean, if Hyundai come up with a small EV.
An EV version of this.
Why not? I mean, it would be perfect for city commutes and everything. So
that would be interesting.
But well, maybe not the CNG, definitely the petrol, or if they come up with an EV, for sure.
That would be neat, no? So that's us on our wish list. But coming back to the Grand i10 NIOS, Hyundai sort of positioned it between the i10 and the i20. The i20 being their premium upmarket hatchback, and the i10 now being their entry level, so to speak, hatchback. This sort of is a bridge between the two.
Right.
There are not too many other cars in this segment. And what we have seen is that it's because this offers so much. You know, you're getting so much more with it at a price point that's below what the premium cars are priced at. And from a value for money, element, we're looking at this range being from, I think it's between 5 to 7 or 5 to 8. It's in that sort of region.
Right.
And, you look at it from that sort of package. Would you agree with this? Would you say that the pricing in this range is like phenomenal for a car like this?
Yeah, I mean, what you're getting for that price is it's an incredible package, and like you said, I don't think there's any other car that really competes with it in this segment, and that's precisely why I wanted to do the test drive of this particular car.
Well, it's small, it's nimble, it's, well, not small, it's compact, spacious on the inside.
Correct.
And I think we have a winner here for you.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, it's just picking the color.